So everybody, Josh, tell everybody who you are, what you do, why you're here.
Yeah, for sure. What's up? My name is Josh Graves. I run a world-class personal training facility called Fitness on Fire. I also own the facility with my wife, and we've ran our business for about 11 years. So the reason I'm here today is because I heard this was a really cool husband-wife couple that also runs their gym. So always down to connect with like-minded people. And then just looking to have some fun, dude. Get after it today.
Did you hear that?
Also, I was coerced. This was supposed to be a good workout. So I thought I was going to get a good workout today. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Fired up.
All I heard that whole time was that there was a really cool fitness couple. And so we're just gonna roll with that. Okay, so I heard a few things. You own a gym with your wife. I mean, we don't really get to meet a lot of people who do what we do with their significant other and then also adding kids in the mix as well. So what is that?
It's exhausting. My life's joy, like the best work that I could ask to ever do. Running the business with my wife, building something together, it's been pretty special. It's also neat that we get to go home every night and talk a language that we both understand, that we're both unified on. It's pretty cool to have our family, our business, our life all going in the same direction. So blessings there. Doing it with a 2 and a 4-year-old right now is exhausting, but also a blessing. I get to have my kids at the gym with me frequently and get to see them all day.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, the kids aspect is a trip because, I mean, for us, I love having the kids around. Just being able to see what you do, but also like being into the fitness lifestyle with you guys as well. Right?
Yeah, I mean they just get to be around it. And our community just loves on those little boys. So it's really cool, right?
Yeah. So and you have 2 boys, right? 2 boys. We have a 7-year-old boy, Mason, 3.5-year-old Mateo, and then 1-year-old Sophia.
Nice, okay. So 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah.
Nice.
So has your wife been involved in the gym the whole time?
Yeah, so we started off in big box gyms together.
Oh, cool.
And initially the plan was, let's open our thing. Let's have her keep her full-time work and we'll still get benefits and kind of slow dose our way into entrepreneurship. And at the time, that seemed like a good idea and it seemed to be working okay. But her coworker, I won't mention names, it's a small industry, but got like a little upset and thought that somehow it was a conflict of interest for her to be working at this gym. And if you know me, I'm not going to steal from anybody. Like, it's just not mine.
Totally.
I believe there's enough out there for all of us. I don't really need to take the other kind of stuff. So I'm like one of the few people that left that big box gym and still is not blacklisted. Like I can still go to these gyms. People still trust me.
Yeah, sure.
So it wasn't like we were doing anything. It was just this guy got a little upset. So he ended up kind of whistleblowing on her. We had to pull her out of there before it got weird. So before we were ready, almost right as we grand opened, we brought Heidi in full time with me too. Even that wasn't initially the plan.
Yeah.
So that being said, yes, we have run our business the entire time together.
Yeah.
But I think if we did it the way we wanted to, we probably would have had me solo for 1 or 2 years.
Yeah. It's cool because I think every opening story is really interesting because like I think the plan to go into it a certain way never ends up working out that way.
What about you guys? You guys running your business the whole time?
Yes. Yeah. So our story is kind of similar. My parents have a large garage at their house behind, like in their backyard. So we originally went in there to just like work out and we brought our own things there. We originally were just bringing equipment over there just for us. And then as the COVID pandemic got longer, we were like, okay, let's bring over our clients. And then we started doing classes on Saturdays. And then we were like quickly on wait lists for like everything.
Okay, yeah.
And during
pandemic playhouse or something.
Dude, it was wild. It was like the Wild West of just like trying to keep our fitness going. It was crazy. And like during that time, we had our oldest son and we were like, man, it's nice to be able to be around him more. So 11 years, you guys have been in business. What has been your bigger success, I would say, in that 11 years as far as like your members go? And like maybe like your community too.
Big success community-wise. So we have this thing we call like a now what principle. It's like you're fit, now what? You should go do something with that. So we, for a lot of years, have tried to convince people to go do things with their fitness. That's things like Spartan races, high rocks, Ragnar runs, powerlifting competitions, triathlons, marathons, whatever. So in 10 years, I think we have recorded about close to 5,000 race entry participants.
Oh my gosh.
In the 10 years or 11 years.
Amazing.
So our people are always racing together, adventuring together. So lots of stories within that.
What race did you guys start with first?
Well, it started, actually, when we first started, I think the idea kind of came as an early trainer because I think that's about 10. I had a client, her name was Sam. Shout out to Sam. She came in, she wanted to lose like 40 pounds. And was the best client ever, right? Shows up for every session, took notes, did all the things I asked her to do. It's like we were like...
My dream.
She's like in love with training. So we lose 40 pounds, she's in incredible shape. And then like starts kind of missing sessions and like starts showing up a little late and doesn't do all the things I'm asked her to do. So at some point, I was like, you need a new goal. You need something else to be training for. You're in great shape. Ever thought about doing a bikini competition or something? It's like, no, I would never want to do that, blah, blah. Next session comes, she shows up with like a binder full of all these, like these are all the different shows I think I could do. And one of them was called Fitness America, and they could do like a dance routine, and she had like some choreography background. So long story short, she did it. She did great in the competition. But as a young trainer, I was like, dude, people need goals. They need something to be working towards. Yes. That's kind of where we got the idea from. So when we opened Fitness on Fire, we were like, well, what kind of things should we be training for that would be a good goal? So it started off with bodybuilding. So me, my one trainer, my /fitness manager that I brought along, and two of our members did a local bodybuilding show. My wife won, I took third, one of our girls took second, and we decided that wasn't like our for everything bodybuilding. So we started looking at other things. We do a lot of training with kettlebells. I'm a Russian kettlebell instructor. It's one of my first loves. So we started doing like a Gervoy sport, which is like kettlebell competition. So our numbers went from 5 people in the bodybuilding thing to like 30 people doing the kettlebell stuff with us. And then at that time, one of my girls came to me. She's like, hey, I'm doing this thing, a Spartan race. I'm trying to do 3 distances of the Spartan race. I've done 1. If I trained here, would you train me for it? You guys have ropes and kettlebells. I think you'd be a good gym for it. So I was like, I'll tell you what, early gym owner days, right?
Yeah.
I was like, you sign up for the year here and I'll train with you and do all the races alongside you. It's like deal, so she signs up, so we do the Spartan races with her, 40, 50, just a ton of our members started showing up and doing this thing with us. So Spartan in the early days became like our spirit animal. We were Spartaning every other weekend or something like that. Long story for a simple question, but Spartan's really been the breadwinner for us for a lot of years.
I know you might feel like that's a long story, but I just love hearing it because it's so cool to hear how you just found a way to involve everybody and make everyone feel, like you said, like just like strong and just have that, you know, and just, you know, make everyone have that goal. And I think you're so correct. And like, you know, how many times have we seen people lose the weight, hit their goals, and then they kind of just like fall off because they're like, now what? You know, like now I can just kind of like do whatever I want on the weekends. Like, no, like find a new goal. Right. You know, and it's just, I love that you guys segued to the races. When you guys opened up your gym, was that, like, what was in your mind that you thought, like, how did you think your gym was going to look?
Yeah, you know, that's super crazy. I think I've always done a lot of sales calls in the industry. So I doodle when I sales call. So I was like a pen and a piece of paper. I take notes too, but most of the time it's just doodling. I want to say in like September 2010-ish, I was scratching out like like a gym. I sketched like a gym blueprint. Totally forgot about it. It's in like storage. So we opened our gym, and about 3 years after we opened the gym, I found this drawing in storage. It was identical to what we had created. So it was really cool. It was like gymnastics rings with like a turf down the middle. And I think I had an idea of what the gym was going to be. When we opened, we were dirt poor. We opened with some kettlebells and some TRX. That was most of our model. Yeah. And then over the course of, as you go, you just keep picking things up, right? So sandbags, she's looking at the machine, like, hey, talk and walk, bro.
You forecasted what your gym was going to look like. And as far as like the races, was that something that you ever thought that you would get into as a community builder?
No, not at all. I think I left in search of functional fitness. When I was working in the 24-hour fitness model, it was just bodybuilding. Right. Everybody's just trying to get bigger than everybody else. Sure. And pin loaded machines and cardio, I was like, dude, I know there's more to fitness than this. And so as I started that journey, I played college football. I started working in big box gyms, kept most of my college football lifts, no mobility, I don't know, I got to become a really poor mover, and I started getting in a lot of pain. My neck was all messed up, my back was terrible, and I got promoted to a couple different gyms. And when I got to a gym in Aliso Viejo, one of the trainers there was like a Jedi. And I noticed him with his people, and they only trained with kettlebells, and they only did 6 things. They did goblet squats, get-ups, presses, swings, cleans, maybe the occasional snatch. And that's pretty much all he did. All those people were lean. They moved better than anybody else I'd seen. So I did some sessions with him. He fixed my back issues and got my hips to work, my glutes to fire for the first time.
Your whole world just like opened up.
It blew my mind.
Yes, like I could feel good and still move well. Like that.
For sure. So I went on a kettlebell like pilgrimage or something like that, right? Where I started taking all these different kettlebell certs. And so by the time I'd gotten through RKC, I was like, I can't work at 24-hour fitness anymore. I need to go take this knowledge of movement to some other. So it started off with just kettlebells.
Everybody needs to know.
And I was like, yo, you know what? I can do a whole thing with just the gym, just with a couple bells. So that was kind of the initial plan. Then we started creating like really great movers, and people were just functionally fit with options. So then we gave them goals to use that fitness with, right?
Amazing. Okay, so Fitness on Fire really sounds like you and your wife have created more than just a gym. How did you two create such a strong community? Like, how did you convince everybody that this is what they needed to do?
A big part of it, I think, is the racing. I think people having experiences together is very bonding. I heard a quote, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. And what this basically means is if you and I have bled together doing something, that is more familial than even what your siblings might share with you, right? So they do that because they had to.
Yeah.
When we go and experience something together that we chose to do, and we bled on the battlefield, if you would, there's something that will like, that forever's our friendship. So I think there's something about racing that's done a lot of wonders for our community in that way. So I think the other real big part of it is what we call everybody loves everybody. So every class, every session starts with one rule. We have one rule at Fitness on Fire, that's everybody loves everybody. So we always start with an introduction or like an icebreaker or something. So everybody goes around and introduces themselves. It's like, what's a TV show you think you could win? Everybody tells us what TV show they think they could win. And in just doing that, it makes it where you're not the awkward person in the room that doesn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So I think that alone could have been the one thing that really built our community, was just starting initially every single session, every single event experience with everybody loves everybody.
That's so cool. And you know what I saw on your guys' Instagram too, after my Instagram stalking venture? You guys do the sign for people who have never tried the class before. I love that. Like, it's so welcoming. And, you know, to you and I, it's such like we're welcoming you, but to someone who has never been to your gym and probably doesn't know anybody in that gym, it's like, wow, like I feel so accepted.
That's all my wife, to be honest with you. That's a big part of what builds the community is Heidi. Heidi's got this like nurturing energy. It really makes the gym more than just like a place that people sweat at. Yeah.
Right.
So I think we celebrate milestones, 50th, 100th workout, birthdays, you know, old school birthday burpees and all that.
Really? So you'll do like the amount of, I love it.
Everybody loves that too.
Yeah, I would. That's dope. What is, and I only ask this just because of like, you know, how Ryan and I operate here, but how do you guys operate with your dynamic in the gym? Like she do a certain amount? Do you do like, or is it just equally down the middle? What does that look like?
Heidi is the backbone of Fitness on Fire. But we kind of joke, we follow a operating model based off of traction. You know, Wickman's traction is this thing called the EOS model.
Okay.
And it's essentially how you run your meetings and kind of how you structure your business. And he basically talks about every business needs two roles in the business. You need the integrator. So the visionary is like the woo-woo, imagine the possibilities, and I have all these ideas. And then the integrator is like, hey, you didn't pay rent on time. And they probably need to think about writing up that one employee and following up with that conversation. The integrator actually gets the stuff done. The visionary has ideas. Every business needs both of those things.
Are you the visionary? Or
I'm the visionary. Heidi's the person. Like, I would forget, like, my driver's license just came up to Inspire. And she'd already filed for a new driver's license for me. I'm not sure if I can say that. Before I even knew it was expiring, she's like, hey, you know your driver's license is expiring? I was like, I didn't know that.
Okay, so, I'm not kidding. Your guys' dynamic is a mirror of Ryan and I's. Like, I am also this integrator. I am the integrator, and Ryan is for sure
visionary. But you need both, right? You do need both in the business. It's like yin and yang. It's like
yes, 100%. And it's just so funny because, you know, at the gym here, like, Ryan is in front of the classes. He's like the one, he programs the classes. He's there. He's getting everyone on, you know, what they need to be on. And then I'm in the background like, hey, you didn't pay your rent on time.
Right? Uh-huh.
That's dope. I love to see like the togetherness it brings, you know, couples, you know, and just everyone in general. What is one success story that stands out the most other than Sam?
So I'd be remiss if I don't mention and shout out my girl, Susie. Susie is probably my longest standing training client and one of my best friends, almost like a mom figure in my life now. I've been training Susie for 18 years.
Oh, wow.
Susie has an incredible fat loss story, but recently around the time Fitness on Fire started, she started racing. So she did, front squats got me, dog. When she was 60, she did her first Spartan trifecta, which is 3 races of Spartan. And then ever since then, she's just been getting faster, better, stronger. So she has won numerous world championships in her age group with High Rocks, DECA. She's always competing there. So the hardest working, most consistent human I've ever met. Susie's
Shout
dope.
out to Susie. We love you.
But another kind of a cool one for me was Michelle. So Michelle came in, and Spartan used to throw these workouts for your facility. So they would invite a bunch of people to your gym for free. You would host the workout and essentially get all the leads, right? So it's like, all right, cool, good. You'll fill my gym up for a day.
Right.
And then it's my job after that to do something with it. So they had one of these workouts, and this young lady, her name was Michelle, she came in and looked very scared. And that was fine. I mean, I greeted her, I think, at the door, taught her name, and then throughout the workout, I just continued to encourage her, hey, Michelle, good job, keep moving. There's 120 people at this workout. I think she's absolutely blown away. I used her name, Q, and all these people, but here she was, new to the serious training gym, as she referred it, fish out of water, and I cared to acknowledge her. Afterwards, I sat down with her, and tried to talk to her about getting started with the membership and stuff, and I asked her why she wanted to do a Spartan race. She'd signed up for a Spartan race, that's why she's coming to the Spartan workout. She told me, I was always the last kid picked. And I don't want to be the last kid picked anymore. I want to show myself I'm stronger than that. There's something around those lines. This lady's in her 50s. So to have like this trauma from like elementary school that she's been carrying her whole life, I'm the last kid picked. So the Spartan thing was a way for her to show herself how tough she could be. And I fell in love with her story, and immediately was like, dude, I will do anything I could do to get you through this Spartan race.
That makes me want to hug her. But let me tell you what stands out to me about that story, which I think should be normal, but it's not, is that you greeted her out the door and you blew her mind because you remembered her name throughout the whole workout. And the fact that that's not a normal practice everywhere is just crazy, that it's so much that it stood out to her. And then on top of that, she is now at a gym where she just wants to prove that she's not going to be the last kid picked anymore. That tugs at my heartstrings too, just being able to like hear that you're serving a community in that kind of way.
Yeah, dude, agreed. About to kick my ass.
Tell me more about this thing. Sound winded. These are your last rollouts.
Losing, I think, upwards of 50 pounds with us. Cool. Completed her first Spartan race, numerous since then, numerous trail runs, Ragnars. I recently did an event called 29029, which essentially simulates climbing Mount Everest. So really cool. And she's been with us since I think 2016, I think is when she came in initially. So
that's awesome.
We're almost on 10 years.
That's awesome. Wait, so there's something that simulates climbing Mount Everest?
Yeah, it's like 3-mile hike with like 3,000 elevation gain. It's like in Utah. I think it's called Snow Base. And then you take the gondola down and you climb that 13 times. I think 72 hours.
No, I mean, that's actually kind of cool, but that's dope. Sounds like that sounds like fun. That's something that I think I would like to do once I have a fully healed knee. My knee is not that great right now.
That's a spicy thing, man. 29,000 elevation. Woo!
So every Tuesday, do you guys have like a plan set out for it?
We do. We have like a curriculum built that we eventually we'll get it to the place where we had it for a while, and 11 years, ups and downs and staffing and stuff. But the ambition is that each of the coaches will sign up for at least 2 slots a year that they get to teach something that they're passionate about. So it's not always just me on a soapbox, that the coaches can teach something that they specialize in. Mm-hmm. We have 8 coaches currently. Each of our coaches kind of has a specific niche or specialty. So we've got a martial arts guy, we've got like a powerlifting guy, we've got a North American Spartan champion, we have like an endurance coach. So that it's kind of neat that we're able to find fitness on fire. Yeah, it's like we all agree to the core of it, allow the coaches their individuality outside of that.
Yeah.
Which is neat. And so, and then we
that's more than neat. That's freaking awesome. Things that aren't normal that should be is that you're investing in your coaches to learn more than what their, like you said, their niche is, just outside of their perspectives and kind of just broadening it. Do you have like open debates in the classes?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
And it's always done respectfully, but
sure.
I always like to get a conflicting idea. So tell me why you would disagree with this.
Right.
Or somebody disproved this. I don't think this is a proven statement. Does anybody else have any experience with this? Right. I noticed you did something a little different with your client the other day. Could you tell us more about that? So I try to welcome I want them thinking. I want our team to be critical thinkers, not just like an echo chamber.
Yeah. No, I mean, but it's to have that kind of environment where your thinking is challenged is so important because, I mean, coming from big box gyms, you kind of like learn that like naturally, you know, you're in like a bunch of other coaches who think differently, but you're also kind of like learning from them, like their mistakes and their strengths, you know? So then when you get into a smaller gym environment that's kind of not as normal, you know, so to be able to kind of force that every Tuesday is just so freaking badass.
And we recently kind of went through a bit of a scheduling overhaul, which now, fortunately or unfortunately, makes the trainer training on Tuesday mandatory for every coach. So everybody's schedules intersect at Tuesday 12.
Perfect.
So it used to be kind of optional, and I think that's where I used to get a little bitter with it, because like, I'm like, okay, I saw a couple coaches queuing deadlifts this week, and I really need to work on with it. Would be the 2 or 3 coaches that wouldn't show.
How did you get past that? And how did you get past that like bitterness and getting those 2-3 coaches to get to those meetings?
Well, part of it is we made it mandatory. Now it is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to be there on Tuesdays. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that was a part of it. It's like we just restructured what we were doing because we figured that the education and the investment in our team was that important. Right? It was one of the bigger parts of the decision as a whole we made to make the schedules fit in a way. It gives the trainers better hours and a more like structured lifestyle, but then also makes trainer training mandatory.
We are in that same stage. We do that on every Monday.
Nice.
And we currently have one of our coaches, he's Professor Alec, and he is on his own curriculum right now. And we would have had a meeting today, but he was sick. But today's meeting was built around like movement patterns and why we do the things that we do, why we program around these movement patterns. And I just think it's like the more we do them, the more consistently we do them, the more people show up. And what I'm trying to do is people who don't, I stream it live. It's not as engaging. I don't love it.
Maybe they show up for the lives though?
It's like 3 or 4 will I show up on the live, but I would rather them be here because it is different to experience it in person, right? Because like you're able to kind of collaborate on the people sitting next to you rather than what you're seeing on a screen. We do kind of run into like the whole, because it's not mandatory, you know, they kind of come if they want to.
Lots of thoughts, for sure.
Give me your first one.
But we also do, so I meet with the coaches. It used to be weekly, too much. Now it's bi-weekly, and we still have a team meeting once a month. And now we do the trainer trainings on Tuesdays. Like you just can't invest enough in the people. Like you just have to continue to make it, like if it's one team, one crusade, like one way of doing things, like you guys got to be on the same page, right? So it's hard. I want our coaches to still have their individuality, to be able to like share their recipes too. So it's hard. It's definitely a challenge. It's for sure a challenge, right?
I want to hear how you do it because, you know, it's like, I want to take from it too, you know? I mean, I again, like we just don't hear about too many other gyms that really give it back to their coaches the way that we do, and I'm hearing that you do too, and it's just it's refreshing to hear, you know. The
reviews are centered around like our core values are always growing,
right,
not your strongest core value, right? And so just being objective in those meetings. And then a lot of times we've passed coaches up for opportunities, and they're like, well, why didn't I get the opportunity? It's because you're not actively growing alongside us, right? I don't know if you're on the same page that we're on, right? Yeah, you do the job, you show up and you clock in and you do a good job when you do your good job, but we live in a world right now where you can't afford to not be growing. Things are moving fast. Technology's moving fast. AI is moving fast. You're getting left behind if you're not actively moving forward.
100%. And you should always have that mindset to be wanting to propel yourself forward because like you said, everything's moving so fast. Like the world of AI, like I use it, but I definitely don't use it the way that I probably should be using it, and I'm trying to learn how, you know, and there's just so many different like avenues in just AI or just learning around the people, for learning from the people around you that's just going to make you that much better for your own business and also in the coaching world too.
And the speed that people can learn at now. But the other idea too is the idea that the same money doesn't spend tomorrow like it does today. So if you're not actively growing your business, if you're not growing your business acumen, your people skills, your sales abilities, your craft as a whole, the actual science behind what you're doing, you're just going to lose the battle of inflation and other things, right? Because other things are still growing whether or not you are. So I feel like the only battle we actually have as humans anymore is really the speed at which we can keep up and learn.
I could not agree more. A lot of coaches who think that because they did all these certifications or because they have this degree behind them, they don't need to learn the sales portion because they're just going to come to them for the knowledge, right? And then you have the other side of like, I'm so good at putting myself out there on Instagram, I don't need to know the science part. They're just going to do what I do, right? So you gotta find those coaches who are willing to do both to a certain degree, and just be able to thrive with the rest of the world, I guess, move with the rest of the world.
And I think you said a couple things too there. Like, it's not just like, can you teach squats and deadlifts? Where most of our coaches need help is in their interpersonal relationship skills. It is in their being able to read the room and know when to say that thing.
Which is a lot of people.
Right? And to be able to lead your people, most of your clients know that they're supposed to eat broccoli. They know they're supposed to go to bed for 8 hours a night. They know they're supposed to work out in the gym 3 to 5 days a week. You're not teaching them to do that. But the coach that actually gets the people to do those things are the coaches that actually make like a living doing what we do. So it's not so much that you're teaching them how to squat and deadlift. It's the fact that you can get them to show up and do it.
Right.
And you can hold them accountable to do it. You can motivate them and spark something inside them to do it.
Right.
And the coaches that aren't growing in their field or their craft, like, they can't get that out of people. You can't give something you don't have, or you're not nurturing.
I think what is missing a lot from that kind of coach is the relatability. Like, how do you get, like you said, how do I get this person to do something that they already know they're supposed to be doing? Like, how do I do that? Do I just tell them? Do I put it on a picture? Do I write it out for them? Do I tug at something that makes sense to them so that way they're able to apply it to their own lives? What do you think is the secret in what makes a coach go from good to great in your eyes? I think it's been a lot of what I've related to is altitude is a core value, which is always growing, loves people, like actively is a lover of people. Like, I have coaches all the time bitching to me about how a client upsets them. Drop it, love these people no matter what. Yes.
Team player, they work well with others,
yes,
and they're collaborative, and they're willing to grow that way. They have integrity, they don't lie, cheat, or steal. I just had a scenario in my business about that. Takes initiative, they're self-starters, right? They are active. Again, a lot of this goes to always learning, right? Uplifting. I hope that you can put that aside for just an hour, and we can make you feel something better here.
And people do, how frequently, especially with your community, your clients, your member base, do people, I was having a really bad day and I walk out of here and I forgot about it, or this is the best part of my day no matter what. That right there is like all I ever need to hear from like who I'm putting myself in front of. Like, it's that impact that is really what goes out into the world, about who you are and like what you've created, you and your way.
For sure. Which is dependable. People don't want flaky freaking trainers.
Nope.
You can't keep a time slot. If you're canceling your sessions all the time, you're rescheduling on people. Fitness is hard enough. The one thing they're supposed to be able to count on is their trainer. You should be able to show up when they said that you were going to and be there for them. And then the extra mile is a road very least traveled. When you do a little more for people than they expect, you're a one of one. Because most people can't even do what they're expected to do, let alone do more than that.
Right.
So that's like our core values list of altitude. So in my opinion, I think that's what makes a great coach. And to what extent you live on those different,
right.
those different,
right. And then you have strengths here, your weaknesses are a little bit here, but that's kind of like where it's up to you as a coach to decide on what you can do better to get that weakness to a higher place of like actually the strength. I think you just labeled everything. Just suddenly Black Box has like the exact
altitude you're taking. If we're out there making better coaches.
How have you found your current coaches? What led you to have the coaches that you have right now?
Some way, a lot of these people have been involved in our community for a while.
Okay.
So I like hiring members in prior success stories. It's funny, and I don't know if you get this too, but we actually have a lot of trainers that work out at our gym to take our classes, probably because we race a lot. So I've seen a lot of trainers who have come to do a race with us, ended up sticking forever and becoming coaches at our gym.
That's awesome. I think you said it best. The best way to find a coach is in that member base, because they already know your community. They know you, they know the people around them, and they know that they love what you're doing. They're bought in. You don't have to convince them to be bought in, they're bought in. I poach coaches in the best respect, in the right environment, never from collaborative partnerships or anything, but I've seen coaches out in the industry that I'm like, you would be dope. Are you locked into what old school network marketing lead in is like, are you locked in what you're doing? Do you keep your options open kind of thing? Do you like where you work? Or do you want to not work there? For sure. So I've had some, and a lot of these people I met through racing and stuff. So one of our coaches that we have today, his name's Noah. He's a G, he's dope. He's a great coach, been a competitive Spartan athlete his whole life.
I met him through Spartan Race. We used to race back and forth. And at some point he was talking about the lack of creativity he got to do in that role. And I was like, have you ever thought about being a coach at Fitness on Fire? You have a whole lot of creativity there. And just that simple sentence and ask turned into like this 7-year friendship and partnership and all this stuff. So
amazing.
And we try to do everything we can to do right by our coaches and create lucrative comp plans and honor their time off requests. And everything I do is to try and make our jobs better for me and for the coaches.
Right.
I live in the trenches with them. I still train sessions. So I'm never sitting in an ivory tower telling coaches what they're supposed to do. I'm living in the trenches, taking the mortar fire myself. So I hope in doing that, I get to keep some of these super studs for quite some time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you're not just telling them what to do, you're showing them how you're supposed to be doing it also. You know, you're living by example. Same thing with the kids, right? Like, you're not going to tell them to do something and then you do the completely opposite, right? You want to model that example, and here you are doing that.
For sure.
We're going to start in 30 seconds because I am the worst. Unless it starts exactly at the top of the minute, then I will forget where I am.
Yeah, I don't want to do no math. And you seem like cool people, but I'm not gonna trust your math either, right?
Look, no one should ever trust my math, ever. So let's get into some rapid fire questions. Burpees or thrusters?
Burpees.
Coffee before or after the workout?
Always coffee.
Who's louder? Do you guys do mics in your gym?
Mics, yeah.
Yeah? Who's louder? You or your wife?
Definitely me.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go to hold. Deadlift PR or fastest mile? What excites you more?
That's tough.
I know.
One of my buddies did a 500-pound deadlift and a 5-minute mile
in the same time
set, and that was pretty badass. So,
oh my god!
I'm in a season of my life where speed matters more, so I'm going to say fastest mile.
Go. Fastest mile is the official answer. Favorite guilty pleasure snack?
Peanut butter pretzels.
Woo! And who gets to charge the music?
Me. It's always me. If it's wrong, it's me.
One exercise you'd ban from Earth forever?
Right now, kettlebell swings. I'm just kidding. I actually love kettlebell swings. Barbell snatch.
Okay. It's a good thing to not put that in the workout today. Coaching in the morning or coaching at night?
Morning.
All right. Protein shake flavor, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Fair.
Who's a tougher boss? I think me. I think I'm the people and she's the paperwork.
All right.
So if you do something wrong, you're probably going to talk to me about it.
That's fair.
And I will logic with you to keep your accountability right. So why do you think that was a good idea?
So explain to me why. Sweatpants or
shorts?
Always. If you had to pick one, cardio all day or strength all day?
Some seasons of my life, it would have been strength. But now I'd say like trail running.
Okay, cardio.
I could trail run or hike for an entire day.
Something that you possibly can do for that long. Who takes longer to get ready in the gym or ready for the gym?
Oh, definitely hiking.
Dream celebrity to drop in one of your classes?
Better pick my words wisely if my wife ever sees this. Let's go with Tom Holland.
Oh.
The newest Spider-Man. He's cool, dude.
Time. You went that one 45 seconds, but
yeah, because I couldn't figure an answer.
You were taking too long to answer anyway, so that's not my fault. Hey, good job.
Hey.
That was cool. Now tell everybody, the camera while you're still breathing heavy, where we could find you if they want to try a class, how would they do that, and all the things to get to know you and where to find you.
Yeah, for sure. So we're everywhere. FitnessOnFireOC.com is our website, like Orange County. Fitness on Fire TV on YouTube. Just Fitness on Fire, Irvine, California. Come check us out.
Cool. I love it.
I'm Coach Josh Graves on all the platforms, so you can find me there too.